This is Jackie, and I'm here with Peyton of the Barons. How are you doing today?
Doing great.
Good, good. You recently released Spider Song. How does it showcase the band's sound on your upcoming album?
Sure. I think this one's a little bit softer side of the band and a little bit more somber side of the band, and a kind of an acoustic-y side of the band. But we're looking for it. It's going to be a B-side on our upcoming album that's coming out November 7th.
And who or what inspired the song lyrics?
I think a lot of the record deals with connecting to nature in this world of kind of AI and hyper efficiency. And so the writing perspective for Spider Song came from just a tiny little moment in time of observing nature and how we sustain it and how we can move forward as a society and keep the earth green and do our part.
How do you think the song encourages a moment of reflection?
Yeah. I think that it's just reflecting on the little things that we kind of pass by in our everyday life and how the world works, even in the tiniest forms and little life forms. And so it was a reflective moment for me to just take a time and realize how important that is to society and to us.
Yeah, we definitely need some less technology and more touching grass. As much as that phrase
Absolutely.
already creeps me out and like
Yep.
makes me roll my eyes, it's also just really true.
Absolutely. And I think spiders have instilled so much fear in humans for a long time too, like spiders, snakes, and we have a song called Gator on the record. So it's kind of a play on, even the scary things in nature are absolutely beautiful and necessary for us.
Well said. Are there other songs on Le Chateau born from personal experiences?
Yeah, I think Gator I just touched on that, but that comes from somewhat of a personal experience. We have a new drummer, and he's been with us for about 3.5, 4 years, and he never went on tour down south before. And so when we first went down to South Carolina, he was so worried that near the hotel, he loves to go fishing. And so he loves to go to lakes and little rivers and creeks and everything. And so he was going out fishing one night and he was so worried about there being alligators in the water if it's dark outside. And he's like, I'm not used to this. In Virginia, we don't have any of that. We're from Virginia. And so anyway, so that little, haunting, that little fear of like the alligator sort of thing kind of led to the song being called Gator. And that was somewhat from a personal experience, but yeah.
Yeah, we don't have alligators. We've got crabs.
Yeah,
I'm in Maryland.
Maryland. Okay.
Yeah, I'm in nearby Maryland. So thankfully we don't have gators, but
Yeah,
plenty of other creatures that could be scary if we choose to think about them that way.
absolutely.
I
For
don't know
sure.
how I don't know how they might taste like chicken as well. I have no idea.
Yeah,
Um,
right.
if your songs are autobiographical or referential to things in your own band, do you feel that it's cathartic to play them, or is it challenging when you play them live?
Hmm. I think we try to change it up every time we play live. So I think it can be challenging a little bit to take it from the studio to like the live platform. And depending on the vibe of like what we're playing and like where we're playing. Um, yeah, I think there's a mix between songs that are pretty personal and self-reflective. And then there's also songs that are a little bit more conceptual. And we kind of teeter on both of those lines. And I kind of write about both of those things. So just depends.
And the album really addresses a lack of human connection, especially in this hyper digital world. How do you disconnect, especially when you also have to promote new music?
I think that's honestly a big inspiration for why that subject came up so much is that I feel like that I'm, a hamster on the wheel trying to figure out, okay, keeping up with the latest technology and the algorithm and the music industry's just changed so drastically. And so there's not one right way to do it, I guess. But I think that trying to keep up with that hyper efficiency really led me to go, okay, well, what is sustainable and what's important? And like, what do I value as a human being and value in other human beings? And instead of asking, AI or chat GPT for the answers, am I seeking answers from other humans that are dealing with certain issues, whether it's emotionally or whether it's physically or however they're, handling their lives. And sometimes I feel like the technology is efficient and is as nice it can make our lives and easy to make our lives, I think that it can take away from sort of the empathy that we have for one another and that human connection. So we'll see. The next few years, time will only tell.
I don't know if I'm ready for that.
Yeah, I don't know if I am either.
So many people are like excited about where this is all going. Like I
Right.
just have anxiety about it. So it's a little tricky.
I think you can look at it one way or the other. I think that what inspires me to write about it's unavoidable. And I feel like that the cat's out of the bag already. The technology's there. And so whether it's used for good or bad or both, which it probably will, however, that hyper efficiency, wherever it leads us, it does worry me a little bit. So as well.
And how is Le Chateau an evolution of sound since Rock or Go to the Association?
Yeah. So Rock Record Association was our first kind of go at something with that new drummer I was talking about earlier. And so that was kind of all recorded at our home. And then Le Chateau, we recorded at a studio in Richmond called The Bakery with a friend of ours, Jacob Samaria. So we actually have kind of a producer for this album and an actual guy mixing it instead of just ourselves. And so I think as far as for production wise, we really kind of stepped it up. But we also didn't want to go for this big arena rock sound. We kind of wanted to go for this sort of smaller analog, warm sort of sound to this record. And I call it kind of like small rock. So it's instead of this, huge, whatever, it's kind of like all analog recorded, all in live sessions. So yeah, that's where it kind of differentiates from Rock Record Association. This is a little bit more natural and I think produced a little bit better in my opinion.
Is that live recording what attributes to that sort of like raw yet refined sound?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's obviously a positive. What are some of the negatives of doing analog recording?
Yeah. It's very nitpicky and you can't correct yourself. There's not really auto-tune really used or anything, or over effects on guitars to make them sound better than what they are. We really wanted to go with just natural amplification and natural vocals and natural drum sounds for this record specifically. And I think we captured that pretty well. But that, with that comes sort of, the bleed in mics, and it's not the perfect sound, and it might not be mixed to what people are used to hearing on the radio or on Spotify or whatever. But we wanted to go for something that was real and that had some depth to it. And so that's why we, kind of went this route.
That must make the transition from album to live show a lot more doable, right? Like,
yes.
I would figure that most bands have to do a lot of rehearsal in order to get ready for a show where you can just, this is what we did, so let's just do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're not too reliant on backing tracks or too many things that are taking away from just the natural human experience of a live show, and seeing somebody perform the record the way that it sounds is really important to us. So, yeah.
And you have some tour dates coming up at some colleges and universities. How does that vibe differ from your other touring experiences?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, every location in every city, every town, every show is different. And so we kind of, we play to those crowds. And so with some of the college shows coming up that we usually play during the fall, we play a little bit more upbeat tunes. Spider Song might not be as frequent into the mix unless we're doing more of an album show for college. But for the few dates coming up, we try to keep most of the tunes that we play a little bit more upbeat and a little bit more rock, and songs that would be similar to Gator. And we have American High. That's one of our other songs too. So we try to incorporate those for those types of shows.
Any good touring stories from any of those university stops?
Oh yeah. Endless amounts of tour stories. A lot of them can be very, I don't know. It can be tough because there's a lot of things that we have to deal with on the back end with some of those shows that, but I won't share anything. Yeah.
Consider this the no NDA need. We're good. Do you prefer those college tour shows or even more intimate club gigs?
I would, it really depends. I mean, I would say as I'm sitting here talking with you right now, the intimate club gigs, but at the same time, you know, it's interesting to see how all humans are different and how they approach music. And I love, regardless of where we're playing, it really doesn't matter too much. I know a lot of artists are like, I want it this way. Like, I want it set up perfectly. I want it like this, and this. And as a band, we've always just said, screw it, we'll play. You know, if there are people there and people wanting to hear original music, we're going to be there to play. And so I don't think that I lean one way or the other. I think it's just very different. But if I'm just sitting at home thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, I'm nice and cozy. I'd love to just play some original music, intimate club vibe. But the college is a little bit more raucous and a little bit, a little bit more hype, I guess.
I guess that's what I was assuming when I asked that question before. It's been a long time since I've been in college, so I kind of
Right.
think that those college shows are
Right.
a little bit more electric, if you will. So I
Yeah.
think that's very fair.
Yeah.
Other than those shows, what else is up next for the Barons?
Yeah, so we have the record coming out November 7th. We just filmed a music video for a song that we have coming out called Blue Cheese. Controversial because blue cheese is, it's moldy, it's, funky, it's smelly, but I love blue cheese. Anyway, so we have a music video coming out for that. That should be fun. And we'll have a few more dates coming up. We're going to kind of get through November, and then we'll have a couple dates sprinkled in there before the end of the year is over. We usually do a couple holiday shows, so those will be out soon. And then we're just looking forward to next year playing a lot of the record and playing a lot of new songs for a lot of the different cities that we normally play in.
So what role do music videos have in 2025?
I have no idea. But I will say I have no idea with TikTok and with like shorts and reels, like how that comes into play. I just know that all of us in the band have always enjoyed making music videos and kind of coming into characters. We have always enjoyed videos from like more mainstream rock artists like Foo Fighters, and they always kind of play out different roles and wear wigs and have fun. And that's what we really want to encapsulate when we're making a music video. And whether that sticks with people, if it's from clips on TikTok or Instagram, or whether they want to watch the whole music video and figure out the plot line and the story, that's up to the viewer. But we enjoy making the music video and, in our own whimsical kind of way.
Is there a pressure to share or post on social media, especially right now as you have new music about to come out?
Absolutely. And I don't know the correct way to do anything. I have to ask other people because I really don't know what I'm doing. And it leaves me kind of disconnected in some ways. But yeah, I wish I knew the metaverse and the TikTok algorithm better than I do, but I don't. And I think we just, write songs, we release them. I try to be creative when I come up with like the art for stuff or like a little graphic design, and kind of go with the meaning of the song and kind of what we're going for. And then just post that. And if people end up liking it, they like it. And if they don't, they don't. And that's the life of an artist. You have your ups and downs. Some people like certain songs, some people don't. So.
Well, they better like the new songs on Le Chateau. It comes out November 7th. Thank you so much, Peyton.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for talking with me.